Back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a fantastic day to dive deep into the latest madness happening in Genoa City. We've got some wildly intense theories to unpack today regarding the Newman family, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's jump straight into the drama. But let's be real for a second, you guys. We all know exactly how this show works by now. When Victor Newman stands in the middle of a hospital room, puffing out his chest and declaring that money is absolutely no object and he has found the absolute best surgeon in the entire world, you just know something is about to go horribly, horribly wrong. It's like soap opera rule number 1. You don't just introduce a miracle cure without a massive catch. So Victor brings in this doctor, Virginia Nottingham. She's supposedly a genius, the perfect surgeon for Nikki's terrifying, life-threatening condition. On paper, it's a wrap. Nikki gets the surgery, she wakes up, and we all move on. But that is way, way too easy for the Young and the Restless. I've been staring at my screen watching these episodes, and I just keep thinking, there is no way Dr. Nottingham is actually going to be the one to save the day. And honestly, I can't even talk about this surgery without talking about how completely unhinged Victor is being right now. I mean, we've seen Victor do some really dark stuff over the years, but this is a whole new level of twisted. Nikki is lying there, literally convinced she is dying from these blinding, agonizing headaches. She's terrified. She's vulnerable. And what does Victor do? He plays the doting, crying husband, holding her hand while secretly slipping a medical power of attorney in front of her. But it wasn't just medical, was it? No, he hid clauses in there to transfer all of her personal Newman Enterprises shares into a trust that he completely controls. And now she's heavily sedated, practically comatose from the meds, and he is rapidly liquidating her assets under the guise of paying for these special therapies. Victoria's already starting to figure it out, realizing her dad is basically looting her mom's estate before the woman has even taken her last breath. It makes my skin crawl. So when Victor brings in Dr. Nottingham, you have to wonder, does he even want this surgery to work? Or is this just a big, expensive show to cover his tracks? So into this massive, toxic mess steps Nate Hastings, and this is where the writers are actually doing something really interesting, maybe even brilliant. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. For weeks now, they have been beating us over the head with the fact that Nate is still a doctor at heart. It's like they refuse to let us forget it. He's been having these deep, lingering conversations with Audra. He's been crossing paths with Stephanie Simmons, who even asked him for medical advice. And every single time someone brings up medicine, you can see the spark come back in his eyes. Every time someone asks if he misses surgery, he admits that he does. He hasn't moved on. Not really. He's been playing the corporate game, wearing the expensive suits, sitting in the boardrooms, but his soul is still in the OR. The show has been dropping these breadcrumbs so heavily that it feels less like a character quirk and more like a giant flashing neon sign pointing right at the operating table. And then we got that scene with the MRI. Victor is scrambling, trying to get this world-class surgeon on a plane, and Nate takes one look at Nikki's scans and instantly understands the exact severity of the crisis. He didn't need a specialist to translate it for him. He read the room, he read the scans, and he knew exactly what they were dealing with. But then he drops that classic line. You know, the one he tells Stephanie or whoever is listening that he's just there to help from the outside. He insists he's not stepping back into the spotlight. Guys, come on. Have you ever watched daytime TV? Whenever a character explicitly states, I am not going to be the one to do the thing, they are 100% going to be the one forced to do the thing. It is the most classic foreshadowing in the history of television. By having Nate verbally remove himself from the equation, the writers are basically guaranteeing that he is going to be the only person left standing when the absolute worst happens. Which brings me back to Dr. Virginia Nottingham. Who even is she? She's a plot device. That's what she is. I am calling it right now. She is a massive red herring. There is no way this highly touted, flawless professional is going to waltz into Genoa City, scrub in, and fix Nikki Newman without a hitch. Where is the drama in that? Where is the emotional payoff? If Nottingham just does her job and leaves, then what was the point of all those loaded conversations with Nate? Why spend weeks repairing Nate's image and reminding the audience of his medical genius if he's just going to stand in the gallery and watch someone else save the day? It makes zero narrative sense. The fans on social media are already tearing this apart, and honestly, I completely agree with them. We are being set up for a massive bait and switch. Something is going to go wrong with Dr. Nottingham. So how does it happen? How do we get from point A to point B? I've been thinking about this way too much, probably because I need more sleep, but there are so many ways this could play out. Maybe Dr. Nottingham's flight gets grounded. There's always a convenient storm in Genoa City when someone needs to fly in, right? Or maybe she gets into a car accident on the way from the airport. Or, and this is probably the most likely scenario, Nikki's condition suddenly tanks. Like, she just crashes completely, alarms blaring, nurses screaming, Victor yelling at everyone in the room. And there's no time to wait for the specialist. The window to save her brain function is closing by the second. And the only person in the building with the knowledge and the sheer nerve to open up her skull and fix the problem is Nate Hastings. Can you picture it? The tension in that room would be off the charts. Nate looking at his hands, remembering the injury that ended his career, and realizing he has to push past all that trauma to save a life. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. I see the comments already. But his hand, he can't do surgery. His hand was permanently injured. And yeah, you're right. That is a massive plot hole if they don't handle it correctly. Brain surgery isn't exactly something you can do with a shaky grip. It requires microscopic precision. Some fans are furious about this theory, saying it would totally ruin the realism of the show. But let's take a step back. Is Y&R really known for its strict adherence to medical realism? We literally have Patty Williams running around with a fake face blackmailing Jack Abbott while Diane is locked in a padded room by a fake doctor. Realism left the building a long, long time ago. Maybe Nate's hand has healed more than he let on. Maybe the adrenaline will steady him, or maybe he won't be the primary surgeon, but he'll have to guide a less experienced doctor through the procedure step by step because Nottingham isn't there. Either way, Nate is going to be the central hero of this medical crisis, not some random guest star. And honestly, I really want this for Nate. I do. I know he's been insufferable during his corporate villain era. He did some terrible things, betrayed his family, acted like a complete jerk. But deep down, losing his ability to heal people broke something inside of him. It shattered his identity. He spent all this time trying to fill that void with money and power and corporate takeovers, but none of it worked. Saving Nikki, especially when it's the most critical, terrifying moment of her life, would be the ultimate redemption. It would give him his soul back. It's not just about saving Victor's wife. It's about Nate proving to himself that he is still a doctor, that his life still has that profound purpose. The emotional weight of him walking out of those double doors, pulling down his mask, and telling Victor that Nikki is going to pull through, that is Emmy-winning material right there. That is the kind of soap opera gold we tune in for every single day. But then you have to think about what this means for Victor. Oh man, the fallout from this is going to be insane. Remember what I said earlier? Victor is currently liquidating Nikki's assets. He thinks he has time. He probably thinks she's not going to make it, or at least he's using her incapacitated state to steal her company right out from under her. If Nate steps in and performs a miracle, Nikki wakes up. She recovers. And when she wakes up, she is going to find out exactly what her loving, devoted husband was doing while she was sedated. Victoria's already